warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to all the participants, the viewers for today's session, for my session, in which in about around an hour or so, dalam 1 jam lebih insyaAllah, I will share with you my experiences and my knowledge in terms of in the field of cyber security and safety. Okay, as we all know that nowadays, obviously, we all are aware of the pandemic that's going on, and then because of that, everyone in Malaysia specifically are using internet. Are using online platforms, okay, menggunakan online platform online dalam talian untuk melakukan activity to conduct their routine, their activities, their daily activities, whether it be for work or for education and such. Okay, so today I will share you hints, insight of information in regards to information security and also in terms of privacy. Okay, so let me share you Can all of you see what the screen that I'm sharing now?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. So before I think before I move on and continue with my knowledge sharing here, may I would like to say thank you to the organizer for inviting CyberSecurity and myself as the representative of CyberSecurity Malaysia. Dan izinkan saya bercakap dalam dua bahasa. Is it okay? Is it okay for me to speak in English? Alright. Okay. So again, repeating myself, thank you for inviting CyberSecurity Malaysia to share the knowledge today. And as you can see here, in my first slide, and before that, pardon for my rudeness. As everyone, maybe had your lunch? Semua dah makan?
Yes, sir, already. I don't know about the participants.
Yes.
Semua dah makan? Dah?
Dah.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Okay, so I'll try to be brief and quick on this. So first and foremost, let me see. First and foremost, this is just a formality on the slide lah. So in terms of CyberSecurity Malaysia, kalau siapa yang tidak tahu, tidak kenal lagi CyberSecurity Malaysia masih lagi, tu saya cakap masih lagi sebabkan semalam masih lagi berada di bawah it's an agency under the Ministry of Communication and Multimedia Malaysia, di bawah agensi Kementerian Komunikasi dan Multimedia Malaysia. Ada satu agensi apa? Adalah satu agensi yang diberi mandat, that is being given the responsibility to foresee the activities of the activities and issues in regards to cyber safety and security in Malaysia. Jadi CyberSecurity Malaysia itu adalah satu agensi di bawah Kementerian Komunikasi dan Multimedia Malaysia lah. So don't confuse us with who? With SKMM atau MCMC. Itu bukan kami. Itu lain. Itu SKMM itu lain. CyberSecurity Malaysia lain. CyberSecurity cybersecurity yang menawarkan jaga-jaga yang jaga bawah pagar atau bukan cybersecurity juga. Kadang people confused with that because of the word security lah. Kita tak provide or security, but we oversee the online activities, online issues in Malaysia. To one of the main objectives lah. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so the next slide will be just a brief history lah. Okay, secara pantas saya akan bercerita tentang sejarah penubuhan apa yang kita tengok kat sini, sejarah penubuhan CyberSecurity Malaysia. If semua nampak kat sini, we were we were ditubuhkan lah, basically lah, ditubuhkan pada tahun 1997. Tapi pada masa tahun 1997 tu, we were only was being created as a team that handles cybersecurity issues. Hanya pasukan saja, a team, okay, which is the Malaysia Committee Emergency Response Team. Incident response team lah, iaitu MyCert, which is right now pun masih ada lagi MyCert ni di dalam CyberSecurity Malaysia. So 1997, as you can see, then up to 2007 lah baru CyberSecurity Malaysia, nama CyberSecurity Malaysia tu telah ada dan telah dilancarkan oleh the Prime Minister back then. Okay, so what but first and most importantly, I would like my purpose of showing this slide is to tell you guys, all of you out there, that during the 1997, okay, is any one of you in the masa participant tahu tak pada tahun jangka masa tahun internet is being brought into Malaysia, maksudnya diperkenalkan di rakyat Malaysia lah, maksudnya rakyat Malaysia mula-mula pada tahun bila rakyat Malaysia menggunakan internet? Has anyone any information on this? Yes, anyone has information in their brains lah, okay, jangan Google, okay, I know that you can Google on this, but then if you have information in your already have information, boleh any one of you tahu tak pada tahun bilakah internet menembusi negara kita? Or you want to take a guess?
I see from the chat box is they say 1990s. You can read the chat box?
1990s. Maybe you can assist me on the chat box.
Okay. One said in the range of 1990s, 1995.
Okay, all right. Okay, moving on. Yes, internet was being penetrate the market in Malaysia in the early 90s lah. Okay, in the early 90s, and pada masa tu, obviously I can't talk about the speed of it, how we connect to the internet and so on and so forth lah, because jauh beza daripada sekarang. And I was lucky enough to be one of the cyber community pada masa tu yang dapat mengalami pengalaman internet pada awal-awal masa tu, in terms of using modem dan sebagainya lah. So saya tak nak cerita panjang lah pengalaman throwback dulu, but even so, back then pun dah ada the social media platforms, as we call it nowadays, social media platforms such as chat rooms. Okay, we had saya dah ada macam apa, I think you heard before, Friendster. So social media platform dah ada lah, even though at that time the high speed internet was not tak exist lagi high speed internet, tapi chat room semua dah ada. Tapi yang lagi penting kali, even though speed tak laju, tak banyak platform yang yang digunakan oleh rakyat Malaysia lagi, tetapi isu jenayah cyber telah berlaku pada masa tersebut. Okay, for example, as credit card scam dah berlaku at that time lagi. So dah lama. If you heard about credit card scam or any scam, itu adalah jenayah biasa, bukan kata jenayah biasa yang selalu dengar, tapi jenayah biasa yang dah lama berlaku. Okay, so and also I would like to the reason I'm showing this to all of you, because this is Why? Because internet, like you all are tahu, internet penetrate market in Malaysia in the early 90s, and as you can see here, CyberSecurity Malaysia telah ditubuhkan pada tahun telah ditubuhkan sebagai satu pasukan pada tahun 1997. So therefore, scam ke, spam ke, ataupun trolling ke dan sebagainya, itu because of what? Because of the habits and behaviors of internet users lah, as you and me. Okay, so the first of all, kita akan go through kita kena perlu memahami dulu what is information and what is privacy. Okay, as kalau kita sini a quote from Gary Kovacs, CEO of AVG Technologies. He said that privacy is not an option. Okay, shouldn't be an option. Okay, it shouldn't be the price we set for just getting on the internet. Okay, maksudnya dia cakap privacy ni sepatutnya taklah satu benda perkara yang boleh di interchangeable. Kan for example lah, sekarang saya baca ni, first time saya baca macam saya tak faham, tapi kalau to put it in a simple understanding, maksudnya for example macam kita tahu media sosial kan kita boleh set account to private and public kan. So that, I think that is what he meant, that it shouldn't be like that. It should be privacy. Dia tak ada pilihan privacy or public. It should be like that. So itu, saya rasa itu yang nak disampaikan kat sini lah. Alright. So another one will be Carl Haberger, VP of Redware. Okay, apa dia cakap, top challenge of cybersecurity. Okay, selain daripada ransomware, data breaches, it is salah satunya antara yang terbesar adalah macam tengok kat sini, securing our digital privacy. So privacy, both of them said is very still is very important in our cyber life lah, in our daily life. Okay, so like I said tadi, apa permulaan dia, kita perlu memahami apa itu information and privacy. And as I said before, okay, when I talk about information and when I talk about privacy, I see it as something very relatable with each other. Why? How? Okay, nanti saya tunjukkan. Okay, because dari segi pemahaman, based on my own understanding, okay, how I see things is information nowadays plays a crucial part in our daily lives. Okay, so apa yang penting, apa yang faktor penting dalam adanya inisiatif keselamatan cyber, this people telling you to use the internet safely, things like that. Because why? Because information ni determines, bagi saya, in my opinion, basically in these three factors lah. How we consume the information, number one, how we use the information, okay, and how we create the information. Okay, these are three factors yang memainkan peranan yang penting, okay, dalam dari segi bagaimana jenayah itu berlaku. Bagi saya, okay, macam mana kita consume, kita nak ada information, bagaimana kita consume tu information tu, okay, and then bila dah ada information, how we use the information, whether kita share ke tak share ke dan sebagainya, kita edit information ke, and also how we create the issue in terms of adakah kita create information yang betul, adakah kita create information yang tipu, yang tidak benar. That plays a really important part in terms of when it comes to the starting of any cyber crimes, okay, in my opinion, right? So as you can see, quote yang biasa kita dengar, saya dengar, is information is knowledge, and it says here knowledge is powerful. Itu very important thing lah, yang akan bersangkut paut, akan relatable to what I'm going to share with you today lah. Okay, knowledge is power. Why? Okay, saya akan tunjuk. Okay, first and foremost, defining what is data and information is two separate things, two different things. Kita faham di mana, kalau first of all kita tengok data, for example lah, this is an example of data which kita ada macam wording yang tidak tersusun. Okay, cyber axis, cyber jaya, this and that. Okay, so basically is the meaning of data is information that is not sorted, informasi yang tidak tersusun, that is data. Okay, where else, kalau information is data yang tersusun, sorted data lah. Okay, which daripada tadi all the wordings tadi kita susun elok-elok, then ia menjadi satu, it becomes an address, kan? It becomes an address. Okay, another example, if tak faham lah sustainability ni, okay, for example, you buat survey, okay, you bagi questionnaire, okay, so you kumpul questionnaire dalam 100 orang, okay, that result, questionnaire result tu, that is your data, kan? You dah massage the data, you dah baca, you dah buat percentages, that percentages, the outcome daripada your survey tu is your information. So the beza, data and information. That's the difference between data and information. Alright? Faham? Faham tak?
Faham.
Alright. Okay, yelah anak elak saya ingat cakap seorang. Okay. Alright. Now, kita dah understand what is data, what is information. So kita understand pula the nature of data information in terms of persoalan seperti what is your data, macam kita kat sini kan, what is data, who owns, siapa yang can modify, siapa yang how to classify your data, how to protect, things like that. So the nature of your, this is the understanding of the nature of your data when used, when in motion, and when the data is at rest. Itu dia punya the nature of your data ni lah. Okay, so kita bila cakap pasal, then we talk about the security side of information. Okay, so ada 3 classification. Okay, iaitu the first one will be the top right tu, kita tengok confidentiality, kerahsiaan. Okay, yang bawah dia adalah integrity lah. Okay, yang the third one will be the availability, ketersediaan. Okay, so this is in terms of the security of an information. Okay, so these are the three elements. Okay, now next, kalau kita dah tahu security, okay, kita dah tahu the nature, how data, how the nature of data information, kita tahu the security side of things. So kita perlu tahu how to a way to manage data or how to manage information systematically through ada satu approach dipanggil ISMS lah, Systematic Approach in Managing Information Security, iaitu melalui Information Security, ISMS terms for Information Security Management System. Apa itu ISMS? Iaitu the SMS ni dia preserve confidentiality, integrity and availability of information by applying a risk management process. Itu sajalah, saya cerita pendek lah, ini very technical, but that's about a bit of how information can be managed systematically. Okay, now kita dah tahu security side, kita dah tahu macam mana manage information systematically. So now as we all are aware, maybe I would like to say that sharing is a contagious thing. Sharing is a contagious habit. It's a contagious contagious action lah. Okay? Macam mana? Kenapa saya cakap macam tu? Okay, but first of all, because 33 million of population of Malaysians, almost all of Malaysians, or 29 million specifically, are digital citizens. 29 juta rakyat Malaysia adalah warga negara digital. 88.7%. Now, daripada tu, daripada digital citizen, 88.7% digital citizens. So dalam kalangan tu, there's a sharing is a very contagious thing among digital citizens lah. Me and you sama. So now I have 3 pictures here. Can the participants tell me the persamaan antara ketiga gambar ni? Itu je lah soalan dia. Apakah persamaan antara ketiga gambar ni? Anyone has an idea? Please talk to the mic. Jangan malu, mic yang anda ada tu. Let me know now, bukan esok. Now, persamaan dalam gambar ni. Anyone mau try the persamaan antara ketiga gambar ni?
Persamaan dia, diorang semua
manusia.
Berkongsi gambar tu tak ada masalah langsung, tetapi berkongsi gambar tu pada masa yang salah. Okay, so dia kongsi pada masa apa? Masa raya, yang pada hari raya di mana orang tidak dibenarkan untuk berkunjung ke rumah, kan? Remember or not? Betul tak? Betul tak?
Betul.
Betul. Okay, so the last one is the pesta durian lah. Obviously tidak boleh ada majlis keramaian, makan pesta-pesta whatever lah, menari ke makan durian, tapi ada makan durian ramai semua. So basically yes, of course, mungkin salah satu persamaan dalam melanggar SOP, tapi I think that is not what I want to teach here. But what I want to show here or teach all of you is mereka melakukan semua ni bukan dia orang jahat, tapi mereka telah ada this habit of mereka yang kongsi gambar, mereka yang upload video tu, mereka ada this habit of sharing without thinking lah. So because sharing is a contagious, like I said, sharing is a contagious act yang kadang-kadang kita buat tanpa kawalan. It's like an addiction to some. Okay, betul tak? Sampai sini addict ketagih kepada sharing. Ada tak yang kena wajib post something on IG? Kalau tak post rasa macam tak lengkap. Ada tak?
Status WhatsApp.
Status WhatsApp. Oh, okay, that's a very rare thing. Okay, so maybe ada tapi mungkin tak nak mengaku. Tak apa, that's fine with me, that's fine. Sebab ada yang macam dia kena juga share something on dalam story ke, dalam feed ke, whichever platform they use, but kena juga share something. Kalau tak, dia rasa macam something's off lah. So sometimes dia rasa macam satu addiction to some. So that's why persamaan tadi, yes, viral, okay, yes, mereka adalah manusia, yes, ada yang nak tunjuk, bukan ada yang tak, tapi paling penting is mereka telah berkongsi content ataupun berkongsi information without at the wrong time, at the wrong time lah, basically at the wrong time, without ever thinking the repercussion of the situation. Itu yang saya nak ajar. Okay, right. Okay, so macam the gambar tadi, basically again, sometimes kita ada gambar kan, kita ada pictures, kita ada video ke, kita ada apa-apalah status kita nak cakap, okay, things like that. And apa yang kita buat kat the bubble kat ni adalah sharing. In the middle tu adalah sharing. Okay, so sometimes the information yang kita ada tu, sometimes the category of information yang kita ada tu adalah something that is private to you, to yourself. Okay, tak kisahlah gambar ke, like I said, gambar, video, things like that. Tapi because of sometimes kita dah biasa berkongsi tu, apa kita buat kadang kita ada berkongsi dengan public, alright? So kalau kita ni the cycle of information, kalau kita nak from the top left, okay, the warna hijau tu, okay, we share more content from more sources with more people more often and more quickly. Okay, kita berkongsi lebih banyak kandungan daripada lebih banyak sumber, dengan lagi banyak orang, dengan lebih keras dan lebih cepat. Okay, that's the fact of information, how information move nowadays lah. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is we can be here in this session, okay, online, okay, and listening to me, but at the same time kita boleh tahu apa yang sedang berlaku di negara luar, di luar Malaysia, di KL, di negeri lain, apa yang sedang berlaku. Kita boleh tahu status ada accident ke, ada kebakaran ke, okay, because we know kita ada platform yang yang kita dapat tahu update dia at the moment of that time. Okay, so macam saya tunjuk kat sini, bila kita ada information, bila kita upload dalam online tu, if it's on the internet, it's not private anymore. So bila once kita ada information tu, kita upload je dalam internet, tak kisah in terms of gambar, status, video dan sebagainya. Okay, once kita upload je, that content, that information is no longer private. It becomes a public property. Alright, because orang boleh screenshot, orang boleh download that information yang kita upload tu. Alright. Okay, now bila kita ada Google tu, okay, saya tengok time. Bila kita ada Google, okay, everyone knows about Google. Okay, have you ever Google yourself? Pernah tak Google yourself? Pernah tak?
Pernah. No. Pernah.
If once in a while, after this probably, you can try Google yourself. Google your full name kalau boleh, atau Google your name, tak ada binti pun tak apa, and see apa yang comes out as a result, whether it be your gambar ke, your social media punya account ke, or any relatable, your name ada keluar dalam website ke, okay, sometimes, okay, because why, sometimes bila kita Google ourselves, sometimes kita akan sedar kita keluar dekat website some organisation ke, some place ke, things like that, okay. Even kalau kita Google search nama kita find under images, kadang muka kita keluar kan, bila muka kita keluar, okay. To be happy, yes, tapi at the same time bila kita look at it at a different angle, imagine someone knows or someone picks out a name, okay, which is your name, for example. Dia pergi Google, okay, now dia letak, dia search, okay, dia akan, apa yang keluar dekat result tu, itulah dia akan refer the name to, okay, whether it be gambar ataupun where dia bekerja, where kat mana dia belajar, kan. So orang a stranger that Googles your name, dia akan tahu, okay, Sharifah, okay, this for example, Sharifah, okay, ini muka dia macam ni, okay, mungkin okay, dia ada keluar result dia belajar dekat university somewhere, okay, ataupun dia bekerja dekat kementerian somewhere, okay. So a stranger would know, would attach that name to a face or to a place. That's my pengajaran kat sini lah. And lecture pengajaran saya tak nak, I think to make you more understand, nak lebih faham. For example, when I Google my name, okay, saya akan keluar, muka saya akan keluar, and nama saya akan keluar di beberapa websites. Saya pernah university ada blog dan sebagainya. Because why? Because I am a resident speaker, so banyak event session saya dah buat live session before COVID, okay. So banyak mereka post dia punya report, artikel, whatever tentang that session or that seminar ke. So adalah nama saya masuk dalam dia punya content. So adalah beberapa website yang ada nama saya. Sometimes even dalam articles pun ada nama saya, macam saya Twitter saya pun ada. Yelah, memanglah aku memang nak exposekan diri sendiri dia, tapi jangan don't search my name lah, okay. Itulah itu. So itulah saya nak cerita about when try to search your name lah. Mungkin you all semua dah buat sekarang, tapi maybe kau tak boleh, maybe buat after this. So be careful of, like I said, apa kat sini, summary to this is digital footprint. Pernah dengar kan digital footprint, jejak digital, okay, digital footprints that we leave behind when we are online. So this is what happened, okay. Google dia simpan, okay. So bila saya cakap pasal Google tu, Google ni ada dalam dunia internet. So internet ni basically terbahagi kepada tiga kategori, 3 layers lah. Okay, 3 layers, iaitu the ones we can access is called public web. The ones we can't access, tetapi a certain people yang boleh access, which is the deep web. Okay, kalau kat sini, deep web ni macam consist of your health records, financial records. So certain type of people sahaja yang boleh access to that information. Okay, that's deep web. Okay, dark web, okay, basically adalah satu jaringan network yang pakai oleh orang-orang yang tidak bertanggungjawab untuk menjalankan aktiviti-aktiviti yang tidak sah, yang illegal, yang haram. Okay, sebab apa dark web ni? Dia guna dark web ni sebab dark web ni is untraceable network. Maksudnya kita tak boleh trace siapa yang, for example, siapa yang jual weapon, siapa yang jual senjata, siapa yang jual, tak boleh track, but track siapa yang menjual benda-benda, barang-barang ke, yang share ke, dia tak boleh track. Okay, basically that's the general understanding lah. Okay, I'm not going to go into technical too much, but that is what dark web is. So ada tiga. Basically is how we live in our life, kan. Kita ada Yalah, maksudnya you have this black market, dia ada deep web, you have certain places you cannot go tapi setengah orang saja yang boleh pergi, then you have places, public places yang semua orang boleh pergi. Sama je, same thing. Internet and the world we live in is the same. Okay, lagi kalau senang, internet ni macam public library lah. It's like a library. You can go, you boleh pinjam buku, you boleh bawa keluar buku, you boleh letak buku dan sebagainya. Sama je. Okay, that's about internet, about the layers of internet. Macam saya cakap tadi, dalam dark web tu sendiri, orang jual dadah, orang jual bagi put a service for hackers, for service, jual fake ID, jual pornographic pictures, macam-macam lah benda yang illegal, right? Okay. So now when I've talked about the layers of internet. Okay, so when it comes to layers of internet, so there are principles and elements of cybersecurity and safety yang kami amalkan. Okay, so first of all, saya akan tunjukkan prinsip-prinsip keselamatan cyber yang diamalkan dalam program CyberSafe, iaitu adab. Senang je nak ingat, ADAB. Okay, adab. A stands for awareness. Okay, kita kena ada kesedaran, kita kena ada disiplin, dan kita kena ada tingkah laku yang betul, attitude, dan juga amalkan best practices, amalkan amalan terbaik semasa menggunakan internet. That is basic for adab ADAB of prinsip keselamatan cyber. Senang. Whereby kalau elements of cyber security, okay, kalau in terms of the selalu kalau yang pernah dengar, the triangle, gold triangle of factors of elements, which the people, process, and the technology. Okay, which kalau senang nak cerita, okay, the technology will be the hardware, which is the system. Okay, software, okay, that runs the system. Okay, process. And the middleware, okay, the system user, okay, people, process, technology, hardware, software, and middleware. Okay, senang nak ingat, iaitu imagine your smartphone. Okay, your smartphone tu, your physical smartphone is the hardware. The iOS ke, the Android yang you pakai tu, you adalah software yang runs your smartphone tu. And you yourself as the user or the owner of the smartphone is the middleware. So 3 elemen yang berpengaruh atau yang terdedah kepada ancaman cyber. Okay, 3 things. Okay, so in the world of information, okay, in terms of how we use, how we consume, how we create information, okay, sometimes ada effects tu lah. Okay, the effects are sometimes what we call information overload. Okay, terlampau banyak informasi yang dihadam, digest, up to certain point kita tidak dapat control the information or makes us unhealthy. Faham kan? Unhealthy. Okay. So this is some of the stats yang saya boleh tunjukkan macam mana penggunaan platform kita di platform yang popular in terms of information that we share every day. Okay, in terms of millions and billions. Okay, millions and billions. Okay, first of all, I will show you platform YouTube. Okay, app YouTube, which is, okay, kalau YouTube is the second largest search engine. Okay, second largest search engine selepas Google. Google is the number 1 search engine. Okay, dan nombor 2 adalah nombor 2 adalah YouTube. Okay, so semua YouTube, obviously semua tahu orang pergi YouTube nak search video, whatever video, music video, educational video, documentary, movie ke, iklan ke, whatever types of video content. And it's the most popular social media platform. Okay, so we established that about YouTube. Around close to 2 billion, 1.9 billion active user monthly, 400 jam video, okay, upload every minute. It's not every day, it's not every second, it's not every weekend, every month, is every minute 400 hours videos uploaded. Okay, 1 billion of videos is being watched per day. 1 billion video ditonton setiap hari. Okay, so okay, anyone wants to guess who's the top earner in 2019? The top earner that earns 29.5 million dollars, okay, yang earn from 40 million subscribers, okay, dia earn 30 million from the channel. As of June 2020, dia on average 30 million dollars they earn from 40 million subscribers on YouTube. Anyone wants to take a wild guess who this person is?
PewDiePie.
PewDiePie. Okay. One more? Ada tak?
T-Series.
Siapa? Diva AA? No. Okay. Both are not close. Both are wrong. Okay. The most highest earner up to June 2020, I think, will be forever ke tak tahu, is the top earner is a 9-year-old budak lah. 9-year-old budak yang you punya adik-adik tengok. Okay, yang adik-adik tengok, yang channel dia started with Ryan's Story Review, Ryan's World, Ryan's Family. Dia ada banyak sekarang. Dia ada banyak channel sekarang. Basically, okay, you can see here the first video yang dia punya is family owned video, family owned channel lah, family based channel. So basically on the right tu is the first ever video yang dia yang mami dia, mak dia upload, is dia beli toy bagi anak dia main, and then dia shoot lah, and dia dah upload. Okay, kids playing with toys Lego 26 itu the first video. Okay, the upload. From there, the audience the audience grew bigger and bigger. The channel became bigger and bigger and bigger sampailah sekarang dia jadi satu empire, and dia ada toy brand dia sendiri. Okay, dia ada characters, things like that. Dia jadi satu empire yang sangat besar. Obviously, dia dah earn about 29 million dollars. So this is the highest earner lah, top earner in YouTube. Forget the PewDiePie, forget all those channels yang mungkin lagi glamour daripada dia. Okay, tapi top earner is dia. Alright, so remember that. Not remember lah, keep that as part of your knowledge. Okay, so ini adalah 3 as I can say is a wajib ada dalam setiap smartphone punya app. Oh, panjang tu. Okay, but perhaps not Facebook. Ada yang pakai Facebook lagi tak? I mean, among you youngsters lah. Anyone in the participants still using Facebook? Still on Facebook lah.
Ada. Jarang lah.
Jarang. Okay. I think ada, yes. I believe all of you maybe ada account but not so active lah. Okay. I'm not surprised. Because there are surveys being done why youngsters tak gunakan Facebook, and there are reasons for it. Okay, so WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram or IG. Okay, so kita tahu sini around 2.5 or less or more active users on Facebook, and 300 million. I think this is something yang I think all of you tak pernah didedahkan lah, maksudnya isu yang jarang sekali disentuh, didedahkan, diperkatakan, di mana 30 million kat sini on Facebook lah, Instagram, on Twitter dan sebagainya ada juga. Tapi ni on Instagram adalah profile mereka yang telah tiada, yang dah mati, yang dah meninggal lah. Okay, the owner is no longer alive, tetapi profile mereka masih lagi ada, exist on social media. Okay, and we can talk about Facebook, we can talk about also on IG. Okay, we can also talk about on Twitter. Okay, there are amounts of profiles yang the owner dah tak ada. Okay, because ada even from my own personal experience, I also have a late friend yang even up till now, dah 5 years or more, dia punya profile masih lagi ada dalam social media punya ni lah, platform. Okay, because nothing is being done, but kalau but nothing is being done, but actually you can do something about it. Okay, there are ways and processes yang boleh diambil untuk sama ada nak delete the account, ataupun the options they will give to you when they can verify you lah, when you are being verified by the developer. So you ada pilihan lah boleh buat. So ini satu isu, maybe in the near future I will produce some article, things like that, and we'll share with all of you nanti. Okay. So on Instagram pula or IG ada satu more or less ada 1 billion active users and around likes ada 3.5 billion, ada 50 billion plus posts up to this day. Okay, almost 100%, 90% of users are below 35 years old. Okay, and okay, itu buat IG. And saya tak tunjuk ni pun antara wajib ada tambahan. Okay, dalam tu nowadays ada TikTok. You all semua ada TikTok account?
Ada.
Tak
ada. Tak main.
tak main TikTok. Okay, TikTok. Okay, TikTok. Previously, okay. Anyone knows what the original name of TikTok?
Musical.ly.
Correct. On the dot, Musical.ly. It was originally Musical.ly. Kan music.ly, something Musical.ly lah. Okay, the original name. Tapi at a certain point of time dia tukar kepada TikTok. As you can see here, pada dia mula boost dia punya downloading dia, the app downloading dia masa pandemic lah, especially kalau tengok masa February 2020 ada 113. By the end of last year, they had around 2.6 billion downloads. Okay, so basically banyak orang, obviously kita dah tahu sekarang ramai orang yang telah download apps TikTok and then banyak orang guna platform TikTok bukan sahaja untuk hiburan, not only for entertainment, only now because ramai yang gunakan ada apps TikTok, mereka menggunakan apps TikTok tu untuk membuat content, educational content, awareness content, even buat language punya content. So banyak very meaningful content rather than just hiburan kan. So hiburan is fun, obviously. Okay, funny videos, dancing videos, sing videos, miming videos. That is fun, but also kita boleh cari konten yang sangat bagus, sangat bermanfaat, sangat berilmu dalam platform TikTok nowadays lah. But can you tell me which one do you prefer, TikTok or IG Reel?
TikTok.
TikTok. IG.
Sebab tak ada TikTok, main IG.
WeChat.
Budak WeChat. Okay. Budak WeChat ada, lupa nak tanya. Okay. So basically originally masa pemerintahan Donald Trump kan, they had this one argument about TikTok because TikTok is owned by China. Okay, so basically the Trump regime masa tu dia tak nak China punya ni lah product, basically apps dalam US. So the regime back then, Trump punya regime, Trump lah basically asked IG to create something similar to TikTok. Hence IG Reel yang ada sekarang. Nampak tak? So basically IG Reel tu basically a duplication of TikTok. Tu saya kita tengok sama kan? Reel and TikTok sama kan? Exactly the same features, same concept. Because US lah dia nak buat their own quote unquote TikTok. So yeah, it's up to you. You want to use TikTok, use IG, it's up to you. Same thing, right? So dalam TikTok, tapi dalam TikTok ada around 1 billion active user estimate, and obviously 60% or more are Gen Z users lah. Okay, like me and you lah. Pasalnya aku ni Gen Z. Okay. Okay, 154 countries, available in 154 countries and 75 languages. Okay, kalau kita dalam WhatsApp pula, WhatsApp semua pakai WhatsApp kecuali tadi someone say WeChat, dia pakai WeChat, dia seorang je. Okay, 1 billion active user, maybe more. Okay, yang register WhatsApp ni ada around 1 million. And dalam group pula dia ada estimate around 1 billion groups. Macam-macam group kita ada. Okay, dalam WhatsApp, I'm not surprised at all. Okay, sebab macam-macam group sekarang yang dah wujud, even in my own smartphone dah tak terkira banyak group. Okay, ada around 65 billion messages being shared through the platform of WhatsApp. Okay, 1 billion videos shared 1 billion shared per day. Gambar pula 4.5 billion gambar per day. And banyak-banyak kita nak share things people like to spread. Other than butter, Nutella, jam is unverified news from WhatsApp groups. Itu adalah antara gambar, poster ataupun PSA yang sangat bagus lah. Unverified. Most of us, maybe not you as yang participant hari ni, tapi most of us share unverified news from other groups, forwarded news kan. Itu adalah sangat tidak bagus. Okay, and in 2017 survey done by Reuters, they said almost half of Malaysians say WhatsApp ni adalah sumber informasi dan juga berita. Very concerning, because ada orang di luar sana, okay, imagine, believe it or not, ada orang di luar sana mengambil WhatsApp ni, anggap WhatsApp ni sebagai satu sumber sahih untuk berita dan juga information. This is very, very concerning and very dangerous. Okay, because it will involve false news. Okay, dalam WhatsApp ni dia tak banyak. Okay, WhatsApp, walaupun I tell you about billions and millions of data, information, things like that, tetapi orang yang handle WhatsApp itu sendiri, behind the scenes, the system developers themselves, kalau saya tunjuk kat sini ada on the time I bought ni, ada around 105 staff saja, ada 55 employees and also 50 engineers sahaja yang menguruskan hal-hal berkaitan dengan WhatsApp. Alright, so dah tengok tadi all the WhatsApp groups, dah tengok all the apps yang orang kata wajib ada dalam setiap smartphone. Kita tahu all the billions and millions of information we share through these platforms. Okay, as saya tunjuk tadi, okay, information is knowledge, knowledge is power. So all this information and knowledge ni comes down to one person yang owns these three main apps, which is who? Okay, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg is one of the co-founder of Facebook. If you didn't know, maybe all of you know. And because of the boom, the Facebook when being very, very successful. Okay, so after that they beli WhatsApp, then after that they beli Instagram. So basically what I'm trying to show here is, okay, kita as a global community, kita menggunakan all these platforms every single day, and all the information is being passed through all these platforms each and every single day in millions and billions. And this is one of the person yang basically have the power towards these apps. At the same time, the knowledge itself. So knowledge is, nampak tak? Knowledge is power. So kenapa nak hack ke dalam sistem, security system, kalau ada orang membuka pintu untuk kita, untuk hacker tu sendiri. Okay? So, okay, kalau kita hacker, okay, kalau kita tengok pasal social engineering, okay. Sebab I think almost done on the 1 hour, okay. Social engineering is one of the, saya boleh cerita pasal cyberbullying, saya boleh cerita pasal scam dan sebagainya. Tapi I think nowadays, one of the biggest threat yang ada dalam the online cyber world is social engineering tactic. Okay, why? Because it's the social engineering is a stop hacking method. Okay, sebab dia melibatkan verbal communication dengan orang. Verbal communication, bukan verbal communication, involve communication dengan pemangsa lah. It is a manipulating technique untuk mendapatkan confidential information from us. Okay, so based on MyCert ni adalah satu jabatan di CyberSecurity Malaysia. Macam saya cakap tadi, kita terima sebanyak 10,790 laporan insiden. Okay, dan kebanyakan besar tu hampir 7,500 adalah kategori fraud atau scams lah. Okay, now okay, I need to show this first. Okay, some of the cases yang I think that most of us are aware, yang bila kita macam mana orang ni dapat nombor telefon, macam mana orang ni dapat nama, macam mana dapat alamat kita. Okay, these are some of the places yang kita willingly share tapi kita tak sedar pun kita share maklumat tersebut. Okay, for example, on the left side will be the from exhibitions of affairs exposed. Okay, imagine the situation bila kita pergi exhibitions, expose ke this like that, dan bila kita kena ada registration counter. Okay, and then they say kalau kita register kita akan dapat free gift kan dan sebagainya kan. So kita register lah, isi apa, isi nama, isi alamat, isi nombor telefon, isi IC number, just because kita nak dapatkan barang percuma tersebut. Okay, this is where kita telah share our information without willingly, without kita kisah pun pasal, kita tak nak tanya pun apa dia nak buat dengan maklumat tersebut, apa dia nak buat dengan information yang kita bagi tu kan. Kita tak kisah pun sebenarnya sebab kita nak barang percuma tu. This is where some of the places yang perhaps our information is being shared with others without our consent, nombor telefon especially. Okay, yang kedua macam belah kanan tu is bila kita nak masuk ke taman perumahan, ke satu bangunan, buildings or apartments, kita tulis nama, tulis IC, tulis nombor telefon. Okay, these are some of the places yang maybe our information is being shared without our consent. Okay, so we must be aware of these two places. Sebagai contoh lah, two places in regards to protecting our personal information. Okay, the third one would probably be the biggest. I think the not the biggest, would be my own best practices yang saya nak sampaikan, which nowadays ramai. Nowadays we stay at home or mostly at home. Most are doing things online. It comes to shopping online. Okay, so tak ada masalah you nak shopping seberapa banyak pun boleh selagi ada duit. Okay, but what you can do is bila you dapat barang-barang macam ni, macam saya tunjuk ni, semua barang-barang saya belilah sebab saya terperap kat rumah ni, banyaklah barang-barang saya beli yang saya dapat. Okay, when you receive your barang, your parcel, whatever things you buy, okay, then you get your parcel, then you have your wrapping tu ada label kan, dia ada label you punya delivery or sender you dan sebagainya, ada nama. Saya tengok selalu ada nama kita, ada nama sender, alamat dia, nama dia, and also nama kita lah yang dapat barang tu. Nama kita, alamat kita, nombor telefon kita. Yes. Alright, that is where my advice would be whenever you beli barang, you dapat barang, yes, okay, you dah open everything, but after that, sebelum you buang your wrapping, no, you make sure either you ambil marker. Okay, ambil marker, you padam you punya nama, you punya alamat, you punya nombor telefon, or even you koyak-koyakkan, you gunting nama you sekecil yang boleh, then you throw dalam that thing, kayaknya you buang dalam tu, baru you ada buang. You jangan buang koyak sikit tapi the label tu masih ada cantik kan, sometimes you koyak sikit dan now you dah boleh buka kan, you boleh ambil lah parcel you, tapi make sure the information cannot be read, cannot be gained, cannot be retained by other people yang bila tengok balik wrapping tu dia boleh dapat that maklumat. Okay, so make sure you koyak betul-betul. After you amalkan, simple, very easy, very easy amalan you boleh buat. Every time you dah beli tu, ingat koyakkan, jangan bagi orang tahu alamat you kat mana, you tinggal nama you siapa, you tinggal kat mana, nombor telefon you kat mana sebelum you buang benda tu ke dalam tong sampah. So that is one of very new amalan lah saya sendiri buat. So kalau tak masa ni ada satu my colleague dia share ada orang contoh orang jual database pegawai kerajaan dalam Shopee. Sekarang dah tak ada lah. So macam nak beli viewers pun boleh dalam Shopee, bukan nak beli barang je, nak beli YouTube views pun boleh, murah je. So the myth behind you beli viewers tu memang betul ada. So itu antara salah satu benda perkara yang wujud lah in terms of information privacy lah. Okay, so caller spoofing, scamming, macam scammer calls dalam 5,736 cases. Okay, kenapa? Okay, this is one of the things I need to touch upon lah. Kenapa kita senang di manipulate? Okay, why we are being easy to be manipulated? Okay, so number one of the reasons will be we have the desire to be helpful. We are very friendly Malaysians, especially very friendly Malaysians. So we have the tendency to be helpful. Okay, so talking about tendency, number two is we have tendency to trust people when, especially when people introduce themselves as someone that's very macam mana, vocally macam very macam kita pegawai kerajaan ke, pegawai bank, pegawai polis. Bila kita dengar perkataan, kita dah automatically some of us memang automatically akan percaya apa yang dia cakap. That's number two. And number three that I think applies to all, including myself, is fear of getting into trouble. No one wants to be caught up in a troubling situation. So they put a fear in fear punya situation dalam ourselves to make ourselves feel scared for us to give the information that they want. So actually these are three factors yang membuatkan kita senang untuk di manipulate. Okay. Alright. Okay. Let me go straight to okay. When I say sharing is contagious, there's another one quote yang memang original daripada CyberSecurity Malaysia is sharing is caring. Okay. Oversharing is careless. Sharing is caring, but oversharing is careless. Okay, because 78% of cyber criminals menggunakan social media platforms to target the next prey. Okay, there's a lot, almost 90% of criminals nowadays, maybe even more than that. Yeah. So when I talk about, I've talked about the threats, things like that, information, defined information, privacy, things like that. So the last one will be the guidelines. The guidelines are the best practice yang mungkin anda semua, all of you boleh amalkan sedikit, kalau tidak semua pun sedikit pun tak apa. The two aspect of things in terms of, first will be the SCO. Okay, mentang-mentang lah kita dalam MCO, saya letak pun information sharing control order. So ada control order in terms of information sharing, which is number one, which is keep personal information to yourself. Okay, ni very bare punya statement lah. Okay, maksudnya you can share information tak kisahlah information you nak share, tak ada masalah, tetapi at least keep some to yourself. Don't share every single 100% about yourself online. Tak kisahlah on social media platform ke or mana-mana lah online. Keep some to yourself. Maksudnya only you yang tahu, ataupun kalau orang tu berkenal dengan you physically or very kenal you betul-betul, baru dia tahu pasal you. Okay. And number two, which is don't check in everywhere you go. Okay, maksudnya don't announce of your whereabouts, what you're doing, or what you're planning, where you are on public platforms lah, or on social media platforms especially. Okay, because there are instances where betul ni memang case betul, situasi betul di mana ada orang ni dia suka update status on social media, and ada one time dia ada update on status yang dia akan keluar negara, and somehow rather any individual, ada orang yang tahu baca status ni and then tahu dia punya rumah kat mana, and then because of this cakap dia keluar negara, then the house, the place, the home of this person kena pecah masuk lah, because tak ada orang kat rumah. So hence this is why, because sometimes you must be careful telling people of your whereabouts. Okay. Number two tadi, kan ada dua kan. So guideline SEO, number 2 will be leading by example. How? Which is through the internet leader punya konsep, pemimpin internet. Okay, how can you become an internet leader? Okay, there are ways that we call it TIP, T-I-P, tips. Okay, TIP, which is number 1 will be T is the thinker. Thinker maksudnya you are able to identify threats and dangers on the online world. Okay, you dah tahu apa cyberbully, you tahu apa scam, you tahu ciri-ciri dia apa, you boleh identify the threats and dangers. That's T. Number 2 second will be I, inspire. What is I? Inspire. That is be inspirational. Inspire others positively. Okay, inspire people. Share positive posts. Share benda-benda yang positif. Beri kata-kata semangat. Jangan bagi post benda-benda yang negatif sahaja. Okay, share videos. Create positive contents for others to be inspired of lah. Be inspirational. P will be, the last TIP will be proactive. Iaitu apa? Okay, always be positive. You have to be proactive and consistent in terms of being an internet leader, being inspirational to others. Okay, you can be consistent and always be positive towards others as well. So basically that is the ways of being, macam mana menjadi seorang internet leader yang bagus melalui amalan TIP, thinker, inspire and also proactive. Okay, tu you ingat, you ingat lah. Alright, so towards the end of my slide will be tadi dah cerita pasal the understanding, the effects, the issues, the scenario, the guidelines, SEO dan juga internet leader. Okay, so lastly, what I would like you to remember this is always say what you need to say and less of what you want to say. Okay, faham cakap apa bila kita perlu cakap, tapi kurangkan apa yang kita nak cakap. Okay, that is one of the ways yang akan boleh elak kita daripada kita terlepas cakap dalam Twitter ke, dalam IG ke. Okay, because mengamalkan benda ni, when you practice this, insyaAllah you akan elak daripada terjadinya that sort of situation, right? So another one last quote will be, knowledge is power and awareness is our shield. Okay, so kalau I think this is one of ni ada dalam Netflix. I think most of you mungkin ada tengok, tak tengok documentary, it's called The Social Dilemma. Watch it and maybe you akan understand lebih banyak lagi pasal the social media world lah, apa dia telah lakukan kepada online community or to us lah. Okay, the real reason behind social media. Okay, so that's about it from me, and ni lah pass back to the MC lah.
Wow, what an interesting sharing session here, Mr. Edwan. Thank you, Mr. Edwan, for your sharing. Attention to all participants. Our committee have sent a feedback form in the chat box, and please fill in the form if you have any questions on the topic. Next, we will open the floor to any questions from the audience regarding Module 3. Participants, you may raise your hand and unmute your mic for the questions or type in your question in the chat box. So I will read the question from the form first. First question is that cybersecurity field have a high job perspective in the future?
Alright. Okay, put it this way. Basically, kalau if you have in terms of cybersecurity in your field, kalau you see a long term, in which way you tengok lah. Long term, it will have benefits because especially dalam pandemic ni, everything is evolved around the internet, evolves everything online, and cybersecurity field or cybersecurity issues is the most important thing yang orang yang sangat diperlukan in terms of awareness, in terms of the knowledge yang kena ada, how to handle ourselves in terms of using the information, to especially to secure the users. Especially, I think the kebaikan I know there's pandemic ni satu benda yang buruk, mungkin membawa keburukan. I think mungkin keburukan tu lagi banyak daripada kebaikan. Tapi for me, I think antara salah satu kebaikan the pandemic is is dia membuka mata rakyat in Malaysia lah, membuka mata rakyat orang di Malaysia kepada penggunaan IT yang lebih meluas. Contoh PDPR lah, okay? Because dulu ada juga, back then there was talks about there's always projects involved around online education kan. There's talks about online education lah, this and that lah. Even in your uni kan, university, there talks about online classes, things like that. Tapi tidak pernah actually dijalankan, dipraktiskan kan. So basically what this pandemic did to this online habits, online culture nowadays, dia macam sped up things. So nowadays people are much more aware of being proficient, okay, fase digital ataupun digital kena mahir dalam menggunakan IT, menggunakan gadget. Itu mahir menggunakan is different from tahu guna is different. Tapi kita in terms of when you are working in the security side of things, kena tahu macam mana nak equip yourself with the knowledge of how to secure things lah, in terms of server ke, secure your program ke, secure your app ke, how to securely use the apps lah, settings ke. So the field of you tanya berbaloi ke kan, I understand your question, berbaloi ke masuk dalam field cybersecurity ni. Yes, because you have to look at it as you membantu, it is for the future. It is the future. It's not for the future, it's already the future. It is now. It is something now yang akan lebih, I think dia akan lagi penting in the years to come. Okay, kita tak tahu pandemik ni sampai bila, tapi it is very much more relevant nowadays in terms of security, internet, security lah, device security ke, IT security ke, internet security ke, internet safety ke, okay, whatever yang relates to anything online, it is very much relevant nowadays. So yes, it is something yang very yang satu perkara, satu bidang yang saya boleh kata promote lah kalau berminat. Itu the first things first is you must have the passion for it lah. That's the most important thing. Ada lagi sebelum saya disconnect? Saya tak ada.
ada. So I will read the next question from the chat box from Ahmad Hanif.
Alright.
He asked that how effective is it to keep most of our social media private to secure our own info?
Okay. Simple. Social media ni dia you must understand the objective utama kenapa social media ni diwujudkan. Why is social media is being created or being developed? Number one will be the most important thing, the most important aspect is for people to share information through the platform. Itu sahaja. Satu je. Okay? By doing that, dia menggerakkan dia punya, that's the function of the platform. Social media for people to socialize dalam platform tu, whether share gambar ke, share information ke, share video, share audio, share whatever it is. Sharing is the key word lah kat situ. Okay, so the question to secure yourself in social media is simple. It comes, the first thing will be, it comes from you yourself, is how you behave, how you behave online lah, your behavior when using social media. Behavior maksud kat sini bahawa what type of user are you on social media? Okay, are you the type where you share everything and anything and at every time? Okay, or are you the one yang tak share tapi you suka tengok orang punya account, suka tengok orang punya gambar, things like that, or you jenis yang macam very seldomly share, ada share tapi kadang-kadang dia share, things like that, tak selalu. So you have to ask yourself, what type of user are you on social media? Or kalau you kata you nak secure yourself, maybe you reduce the amount of sharing about your life lah on social media. Not to say you tak share langsung, maybe you keep it to perhaps once every 2 days, once every 3 days, you share, you post lah satu benda, just to keep it, just to be in trend lah kan. Tapi tak ada kalau so you reduce the number of posting lah on these social media platforms, and kena lagi secure. Kalau macam you rasa you nak post you ni macam more private, more secure, maybe you boleh private kan you punya account. Basically hanya macam you all know, only your friends je yang boleh tengok gambar, boleh tengok you punya IG story ke apa ke, or public tak boleh. Tapi there are orang kata lax lah. Kalau you private kan, kalau macam some competitions kan, radio competition ke, things like that, sometimes then you need to public kan you punya account in order for them to see kan, to nampak apa you post. So they are down to it kalau you private kan. So tapi that is one ways kalau you nak secure yourself from the internet when using the social media. There are numbers of ways to set lah, maksudnya siapa yang boleh nampak your profile, siapa yang boleh komen, you boleh turn off comment kan, macam dalam YouTube you boleh turn off the comments, dalam Twitter pun boleh turn off the comments, you boleh filter languages, you boleh private kan you punya account. Things there are steps and ways yang you boleh ambil, you boleh belajar. Okay, tak adalah saya nak ajar semua dalam jawapan ni, tapi you boleh take the effort to find out and learn the steps to secure yourself. But again, by the end of the day, it's all about you as the user. What type of user are you, or how you use the social media. Tu paling penting lah. Is like I said, you can share whatever you want, but at least keep some to yourself. Maksudnya tak adalah you dedahkan 100% everything about you, your life on social media for people to know about you, tetapi you keep some to yourself yang korang tak tahu langsung. So that's one of my good advice lah for all of you as for my participants for this evening lah.
Right, thank you Mr. Edwan for the answer. Next question, also from the chat box as well, from Hazwani. Hello, I am Hazwani from UTP. Why dark web still exist when Windows cybersecurity exists? Quite interesting question.
Why dark web exists? Okay. If you can answer me why, if you have the answer to the question kenapa black market exist sedangkan undang-undang polis ada. Can anyone answer that? Kenapa sindiket pengedaran dadah di kongsi gelap wujud sedangkan polis ada, tentera ada? Same goes. If ni tak boleh answer, same. It's the same. It's similar. Probably not the same, but it's similar situation. Okay, the online world is the same as the world that we are living in real life. That web is supposedly bukanlah exactly what the black market is lah. You know, kalau in real life we have macam mafia, kongsi gelap kan, black market punya yang kita tak, saya sendiri bukan, I'm not in the group, tapi I think most of you know, most of you are aware. So sama juga online, when you are online, there are these networks whereby people are these people, these IT people, not IT, they are very smart people. Basically yang dalam dark web ke apa, they are very, yang manage this network ke, yang create this network, they are very smart people. They're not dumb people. Basically, they are very smart people. So they know their ways to avoid these sort of confrontations in terms with the law lah, especially. So that's why walaupun ada cybersecurity ke, ada enforcement ke, tapi this sort of dark web ni masih akan ada wujud dalam alam cyber ni. So basically when you look at the internet, sama macam the world that we are living in ni, you akan lagi faham. Kenapa benda-benda ni wujud. Sebab benda tu sama saja. So imagine the viruses, kan? The viruses yang kita ada online, yalah virus yang slowkan your komputer ke, yang rosakkan komputer ke, things like that. So it's just compared to the viruses yang we have in real world lah, your macam you punya COVID ni, you punya demam semua sama lah. So same thing. We are basically the laptop and CPU. So macam tu lah lebih kurang.
Right, thank you, Mr. Edwan. Next question is from the chat as well. Is it true everything we posted on Instagram story, no matter it is for close friend list or any other small private account, there will be a person in charge who still can see what we posted? There's an issue where people, especially Muslim girls, posted a free hair picture on their private IG story, who they only allow certain people to see it, which is all girl. What do you say? Is it true?
To be honest, in terms of that specific feature on IG, tu saya tak pernah experience lagi. But I know that sort of features tu ada, whereby it's called, I think it's similar to features where it's a selected viewing, selected reply. Macam Twitter ada, you boleh reply to a selected person only, you boleh post a status to a selected person only. So basically it's a selected posting lah. Yes, I know. If it is a selected posting, yes, I know that ada wujud. So in terms to that specific question on IG story tu, saya tak pasti sebabkan saya tak experience benda, saya tak unsure about those specific option. Tapi I know that selected posting tu memang ada on Facebook, on Twitter, I think on IG ada. So yes, I don't know you want me to answer whether benda tu in terms of my thoughts. Tapi kalau in terms of the habits of the culture of that, yes, it's something yang very not healthy, because it's sort of like a very private moment, private message that you can send. I mean, in terms of when talk about private message ni is another issue lah kan, because banyak zaman sekarang whereby orang boleh private message anyone that they want, any friend that you have, okay, lelaki perempuan lelaki perempuan. So we don't know what the content of that private message or that DM kan. So again, it's always comes back to how we digest, to how we consume the information, how we create the information, and how we share the information, and how we behave online. So kalau kita jenis yang gunakan that features untuk benda-benda tidak baik, benda-benda yang buruk, tidak senonoh, dan tidak baiklah jadinya platform tersebut. Kalau disalahgunakan lah, obviously. Kalau kita gunakan benda tu for things that is positive, as an internet leader, like I said before, benda tu akan jadi perkara yang bagus lah. Macam TikTok lah. TikTok dulu ada satu reputation yang tak baik kan. TikTok dulu awal-awal dulu it had some not so good reputation, because orang nampak TikTok macam satu very entertainment based punya app, hanya menari, berjoget saja. Saya ingat lagi sebab I have that mentality, that's based on my own experience. So I had this thought macam TikTok ni macam menari je, musically just menari saja, joget-joget, pahal kan, joget depan video, depan kamera, things like that. It's not very healthy, especially kalau young ladies, young girls buat macam tu. But then bila ramai orang guna, banyak orang guna TikTok tu to develop more information, more knowledgeable content, more informative content, so it became much more macam acceptable to TikTok, yang macam okay, this is very good, I can learn things from this. So by the end of the day, it's how you use the platform basically yang determine whether it's a threat to others or basically it's beneficial to others. So that would be my answer.
Right, thank you, Mr. Edwan, for the answer. So I will proceed to the last question from Isaac, which is due to recent Facebook and Google's undersea cable to bypass Malaysia in Asia Pacific, what effect it will give to us in Malaysia?
Google bypass again? Alamak.
The question again, due to recent Facebook and Google's undersea cable to bypass Malaysia in Asia Pacific, what effect will give to us in Malaysia? In Malaysia, yes.
Nothing, I suppose. Nothing, I suppose. No big effect yang akan membuatkan Malaysia menjadi negara mundur. I don't think so. I don't think that Malaysian won't be able to use Facebook. I don't think Malaysia won't be able to use Google. So I don't think in terms of usage, I don't think it would cause any harm, unless there's some sort of like conspiracy, things like that. I don't know. I'm not here to discuss about that, but I don't think it will take any effect, have a big effect or any effect at all towards bagaimana rakyat Malaysia, sejauh mana rakyat Malaysia masih lagi boleh guna Facebook ke apa dan sebagainya lah. So that's my humble opinion lah.
Alright, that's all for the question, Chat Boss. Thank you, Mr. Edwan, for the answer. I hope that the answer from Mr. Edwan answers your questions, dear participants. So, alright, I believe that we have no more questions from the audience. Hence, that marks the end of our module 3.